Everybody, how's it going? It's Fabrizio Aiello. Welcome to What is Fabrizio Inking. Today, I am inking Horace H. Hoover, which is a shock. It's a huge shock. Horace H. Hoover is a character from a comic book currently that is available through alternativecomics.com. I write, draw, ink, color, letter, everything. It's a 1920s, 30s cult mystery adventure is what I'm calling it. Sort of a throwback to some old art style coloring with a little bit of a twist. So there's definitely some humor, some occult stuff, some adventure. Check it out. Alrighty, so this is something I started several weeks ago, but I haven't been streaming too much, so it's not quite there. This is Horace H. Hoover, the hero, and he's fighting we'll call him a vampire, but he's a little funky, right? He's got like a coiffed, and he's got these crazy, like, I don't even know what those are. I don't know what those are, but it's okay. You don't need to know everything for a pinup, right? I'll figure it out before I put into a story, though. Hey, Young, how's it going? Yang Jiao. It's Monday, and it is about 10 degrees outside if we're lucky. So I'm going to assume everybody's inside. A glampire. Yeah, I like that. I was thinking of, this is going to sound bad, but I love this actor, Chaz Palminteri. I saw, he has a podcast, I believe, and there's a little bit of an interview and just how he had his hair and everything. That was kind of my inspiration for this getup. I know that sounds bad, but he's awesome. And I think he only listens to or watches my podcast or YouTube channel once a month. When everybody from A Bronx Tale, they all get around, they sit around and listen to my stream. So I see you've been posting a lot of D&D stuff. I guess I didn't realize that you were big into role-playing games, which is pretty cool. I just recently started playing again with a friend of mine. Haven't played in many, many years, like D&D stuff. It's been a lot of fun. There's something about winter and Christmas that kind of lends itself to that sort of fun game activity. I've actually, this sounds kind of bad, and I know you're not supposed to be completely transparent with your process, but I do like being transparent. I've been working on issue 4, and it's sort of the wrap-up of the Smoke Man stuff, which is 3 issues long. It's a decent-sized arc, and I need to make sure that it ends in a satisfying way. It wraps everything up that it needs to. So I've been just going over and over and over again in my head, because when I first sat down and outlined everything, I mean, those probably been a year ago at this point. So it's like, well, a lot has happened in a year. It's like doing a sketch a year ago and then doing the final version of that sketch a year later. You've moved on, you've progressed, hopefully, and so you just want to make sure you at least have the right foundation before you move forward with a finished product. And I have to admit, I was really struggling just because I'm like, I don't know, have I been looking at it too long? Because putting down the drawing or the writing or whatever, that's where you get fresh eyes, you come back to it and you see, where things go wrong. And I actually made a fairly big change to the ending of the story, but I'm so glad I did. If I had just gone forward with the original ending of the story that I had set up a year ago or whatever, I just don't think it would have been as satisfying an end. So sometimes, when I sympathize whenever people are talking about late comic books, because there's no doubt that it would have been a lesser book if I had just gone forward with it. So, not to say you should take forever to do a book, but I don't know. You just you have a sense of when it's done, and I think that's really what you have to do, because if not, you're gonna kick yourself that you spent 3 months drawing and inking and coloring a comic book, but you weren't 100% certain on the direction of the plot. Sure, also it helps the channel because many people who are into role-playing are also into comics, and they'd probably buy if they knew stories that interested them were available. I completely agree. There is overlap, and I don't think that overlap is... it's not taken advantage of, we'll say. It's almost like an artificial category, but man, I really feel like there's a lot of overlap. I'm a perfect example because I was into comics well before role-playing games. My friend was really into role-playing games, and then, here I am playing role-playing games because somebody introduced me, and vice versa, of course. Hey, Captain Goodnight, how's it going? Thanks for popping in. Is he from the same vampire race as Slurp? He is not. Definitely not. Even though I have an idea of what this is or where this is going to go. Slurp's background and all that is already settled, and that's a very specific area. His origin makes me chuckle. So hopefully when we get to that, it'll make other people chuckle. I'm sure you guys just popped up to hear all of my private DMs with Jackie Chan. I did say that I would reveal every single private DM that I've received from Jackie Chan. And I am a man of my word. I haven't received any, so yeah, I'm revealing that I have. But if I had received DMs from Jackie Chan, I absolutely would be telling you exactly what was in those DMs right now. Hey, Stat Zero, how's it going? Thanks for popping in. Metatron's Cube, how's it going? Different colors, different vampire gangs. Yeah, it's like East Coast, West Coast kind of thing. I did admit a while ago that I have a thing with large colors. They're just fun to draw. I like to look at them. Doctor Strange and the Vision and Dead Man. Dead Man? The DC guy. Am I blanking? Yeah, Dead Man. The Red. I didn't really... I read a few issues of Dead Man, but the Neil Adams one. But I never really did more than that. Did Jackie give his secret recipe for Kung Pao chicken? He didn't. But I promise, as soon as somebody gives me some juicy DMs to share with everybody, next live stream, it's 100% what I'm doing. I need to befriend some stars. Oh, I do have the cover reveal for Horace H. Hoover issue 3, which will be on Alterna's campaign on the 20th. So coming up in a few days. I'll show that before the end of the stream. It's pretty cool. I'm extremely excited about that. Turned out great. I went with a different color palette because I really wanted the covers to be easily identifiable from a distance. Like if you're at a bonfire and you see the Horace H. Hoover issues sticking out, you can easily tell which one's which as they catch on fire. Chris Maycock, how's it going? Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been working on this on and off for a couple of weeks now. I finished up that Hawkman drawing, so I figured I'd jump back to this, finish this up, get it colored. And then it goes in a pile, a pile of finished drawings that have to find some use. Maybe I'll throw it up on the next Alterna auction or something like that. Yeah, the Hawkman drawing, it's on Twitter and Instagram if anybody hasn't seen it. And I mean, I do the whole inking on stream over the course of a month or so, but I was looking at it and it's a different style and it's a different feel, obviously, than Horace H. Hoover, definitely. But there's another story graphic novel I've been wanting to do for a couple of years that is definitely more in line with that. It's not, definitely no humor or kind of wacky stuff in it. But that Hawkman is a pretty good, like, initial style test for that other graphic novel that I want to do. Captain Goodnight, crowdfund a book of your finished drawings. That would be awesome. I mean, I have a lot of them. Like I said, they just go into a pile in a drawer, and I hope to find a use for them sometime. Yeah, I should try to categorize them, and between those and, to be completely honest, sketch cards. Some of the sketch cards I've done have been some of my favorite drawings too. So maybe it's a sketch card drawing compilation or something like that. I did do high-res scans of all the sketch cards, so I could have some of those in there. I actually had to redraw this hand. I didn't notice until just before I started the stream that this hand was not quite right. So I had to draw over the blue line. Yeah, sometimes it's just there's a weird calculation of time and objectivity when it comes to art. All things become painfully obvious as you leave them sit for a while. Flipping drawings helps, obviously, but I don't do that for every single drawing. Sometimes you flip it at a certain stage, maybe at the beginning stage, and then you keep drawing, and then you get to you get further down the line, and things went a little askew from when you started. So if you're not constantly like snapping a photo and flipping it, things might go wrong. You won't even realize it until later on. Where'd you get the new music from? It's free music. I think it was Google. Honestly, I haven't spent a lot of time looking for music. I need to, though. I realized the other day, whenever I stream, not that I stream a ton, but I play the same music, and sometimes I have like my streaming sweatshirt that I wear, and I realized, well, wait a minute, in the future, people are gonna see me wearing the exact same sweatshirt for like 2 years in a row or something like that. So I'm like, all right, I gotta switch things up. They're like, we need to buy this guy's comic book. He only has one sweatshirt. I keep threatening to do my own music. I will do that one of these days. People don't change clothes in comics either. That's a great excuse. I like that. It's essentially just a uniform. Yeah, if you opened up Donald Blake's closet, it's just a row of blue suits. Yeah, so going back to I'm going to call it late rewrite for part of issue 4. It's the first time I've ever done that. I haven't done enough comics to really have a ton of experience with this particular late stage rewriting. I always rewrite a little bit, so as I'm lettering, I'm definitely tweaking the language, if there's too many words in this particular balloon, I might just, shorten the language. If things are a little confusing visually, then I'll lean on the language to help clarify. But all of a sudden, as soon as I started to do this, I'm like, oh my, this is what happens in movies, right? The reshoots, the the late stage rewrites with bringing in new writers to fix it. Except I don't have another writer. This is me. You say it's like a bad thing. Steve Jobs wore the same black turtleneck and jeans every day until he died. That is true. There are a few people that, like Johnny Cash, always wore black. Monk on the TV show. Did he always wear the exact same suit? I don't know if it was the exact same suit, but it was close. Thanks for stopping by, Stat Zero. Appreciate it. Midnight Mausoleum, how's it going, Marlena? Thanks for joining. I don't know where everybody is, but I imagine everyone is as cold as I am right now in Pittsburgh, PA. I shared the Horace resin model that's being shipped, which I'm very excited about. Turned out great. The paint job looks really nice. So it's coming from the UK, so it'll probably take a while to get here, but I'm okay waiting as long as the quality is good. I don't need something right away if it's gonna be less than stellar. It finally warmed up to 10 degrees, yeah, exactly. Pretty brutal. I rented some studio space recently, and for like oil painting, things like that. But I'll do some other stuff too. I have all of these resin model kits, so I need a place to package those, ship them out, fulfill issue 4 and 5 for that campaign whenever that happens. So I figured some extra space is needed, but unfortunately we had a big rainstorm and there were leaks. So that's putting a bit of a damper in my oil painting. It's very cold there, below zero. Eesh. Yeah, that's special. So I was talking about this the other day. I like to keep everything gray and then spot my blacks because I want to see how everything looks first. If I go in immediately and start spotting a bunch of blacks, it's hard to go back in, and I don't particularly like using whiteout very much. So this is a good example. I started gray. So Horace is mostly gray. Like these shadows here are gray. But since we have this chunk of black here and here for the bad guy, I need to add some more blacks to Horace. So I'm actually going to take this gray and make it black. Because if not, he'll look too gray and he'll just be kind of floating there. So you just need some more blacks to like weight him down, so to speak. So even though I spent, a fair amount of time doing hatching, it's not worth it if it doesn't read right. Especially when you color. And this will definitely be colored. You know, I don't know if anybody else really does it this way. You know, Dan Green, I'm sure wasn't doing it this way, but it's my process. Hopefully the process gets quicker as you get more pages and more issues under your belt, but just gotta do whatever works. Speaking of which, that Hawkman, the last stream that I worked on him, I had put a completely black background. I'm like, well, I need something in the background. Let me try this. It did not work. I was a little distraught during the stream too, because I knew that I kind of messed it up, and I'm like, did I just spend 6 hours on this drawing and inking, and I just totally messed it up because of the background. So this is one of those scenarios where sometimes you got to just keep hacking at it. And first thing I did was, okay, I'll paint over the black with like white acrylic and see if that sort of textured look is enough to save it. I did it. I'm like, okay, well, it looks better, but nope, didn't save it. I'm like, okay, what else can I do? I will paint black over back. I'll do black washes back over the white. So I did that, and I'm like, okay, it looks a little better, but I didn't save it. I'm like, okay. And at any point in time, I mean, I could have really just thrown it in the trash, walked away, and just been kind of disappointed and angered that I spent so many hours in it. But at that point, what did I do? Oh, I started to do black ink splatter on top of that. And as soon as I started to do that, I'm like, okay, that actually, it adds enough texture in there, and it's adding enough visual interest where I think I might be able to save it. So I do the black splatter, and then I do the white splatter on top of that and kind of tweak it. And the end product turned out really well. But man, every step in between that was dicey, I'll be honest. It was pretty dicey. John's Longbox, how's it going? Just a heads up, Fabrizio, I'm revealing all those DMs. Soon the world will know what you would think about Brian Baugh. Oh no. I thought you were going to reveal your Jackie Chan DMs. Because that's what I was doing. I was sticking with the like B-list celebrities, movie stars. I was hoping Jackie Chan, would have seen my tweet and maybe shown up, or Chris Tucker, maybe. Not so lucky. Wait, is Brian Baugh really Jackie Chan? I don't know. Is that like his secret identity? Can't believe what you said about Nicolas Cage. Yeah. People have various opinions about Nicolas Cage. Some people really hate him. But I don't think you can deny he's done some good movies, too. Like Adaptation was a great movie. You know, there's the fun movies like The Rock and National Treasure and stuff like that. But man, you mentioned Nicolas Cage's name and some people will get very upset. If I really wanted to like release juicy stuff, I could release the DMs from me and my wife, which are basically, what time are you going home? And I'm headed to the grocery store. Do you need anything? Those are, you know, that's what everybody really wants to hear. Cage is the second best actor of his generation, just after Bruce Campbell. I love Bruce Campbell. Do you remember Briscoe County Jr.? I remember when that was on. I haven't rewatched it though. I remember it being pretty cool, but I don't know if it would hold up or not. It was like I think it was like a steampunk sci-fi kind of thing. I vaguely recall it, but it always stuck in my head. The pickup Chinese texts are pure fire. Yeah, really. Briscoe is the reason X-Files got popular. Jack of all trades was fun. I don't know Jack of all trades. I did like Bruce Campbell in damn it. What was that USA, kind of like a spy? Ugh, I can't think of it. He was good though. He played Sam Spade or something. What the heck was the name of that? As soon as I start streaming, I blank on stuff. Burn Notice. Yep, that was it. That was fun. All right, that house in the back is looking pretty good. There's a fine line between completely wonky and like non-Euclidean house structure and okay, this was a house once and it's really fallen into disrepair and maybe it's sliding down a hill, or Sam Axe, that's right. Sam Spade, I'm an idiot. Yeah, him and Fiona, and yeah, I thought that was a fun show. Jack of all trades was a 15-minute show based on a French colony in the Caribbean. He was an American agent against Napoleon. So bad it was great. It does sound so bad it was great. Wow, it's 8:40. I will show the cover of issue 3 before I finish. so excited about issue 3. I mean, I'm excited about issue 4 and 5, but it's been done for a while, so I'm glad people will actually get to read it. And then form a mob and try and burn down my house. That's what happens to all the greats, right? Frankenstein's monster. All the other good monsters. White Alakazam. How's it going? Thanks for popping in. I don't recognize your name. It only depends on if the ending is good enough or not. Yeah, if it's like a Sherlock Holmes Professor Moriarty kind of thing, and people demand I change it. I definitely think issue 4 is a satisfying ending to sort of the Smoke Man stuff. And that's the most important thing for me. As much as I like sort of surprising readers or kind of keeping them guessing, you don't really want to do that forever. You don't want to pull a J.J. Abrams kind of Lost thing. So issue 4, I think, is a really satisfying ending. Not saying it's a happy ending. I do feel like it's satisfying, though. I think it's David Mamet, maybe it was somebody else. Basically, the ending of a story has to be inevitable yet surprising. I always like that description of a story. It's a 5-issue arc, right? It's a 5-issue series. So the 5th issue is actually a standalone. So, but like the Smoke Man kind of ends, it does end at issue 4. And then there's a one-off for issue 5. Just a standalone story, which I'm really excited about. Brand new worlds and characters, and yeah, I'm excited about that. I buy alternate stuff and got the first 2 issues on my bed right now. I'm going to read them before bed. Awesome. That's great. Let me know what you think. I'm always curious. One review I thought was really interesting. It was by Dad's Den of Pop Culture. I think that's the name from the YouTube channel. And the reason it was interesting is because he basically said from the beginning, he's like, man, I saw this. And I'm like, I don't know. It's a vacuum cleaner on a guy's head. Which is honestly how I assume everybody approaches it. But then, he read it and he really liked it. And it kind of changed his mind and convinced him, which that's like the ultimate compliment, is you're suspicious from the cover and yet you end up liking it. Whereas usually it's I don't know, generally it's the opposite, right? You see the color or cover and then you read it and you're like, well, the most exciting thing was the cover, and it kind of went downhill from there. John, what are the plans after issue 5? That's a good question. I plan on doing Horace stuff for a long time. But but the order of that, I'm not too sure about. So there will definitely be like an ongoing, there will be, we'll learn his origins and sort of the bigger story of the world. But like I said, I don't know the order yet. There's a graphic novel I've been wanting to do for a while, which is very different than Horace H. Hoover. It's like a dark fantasy horror kind of thing. And I keep thinking that's the best way to become a better artist and a writer, right? Is for me to get these 5 issues done, kind of sit on them, do something else very, very different than Horace H. Hoover. That way, when I come back to Horace H. Hoover, I've hopefully grown as a writer and an artist, and I can bring that back into it instead of just kind of moving forward with Horace H. Hoover. At least that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking out loud. But we'll definitely get to more stories. I'm not sure the order and the format and all of that kind of stuff. I did like the Viscera cleanup detail game, and it kind of looked like the suits for that. Cleaning up monster crime scenes and stuff. I don't know if that's this or not, like the art. Other than that, I'm blind. Yeah, I'm a little confused at that. I did... Oh, I don't know that. If that's a comic book, cleaning up monster crime scenes and stuff. That's interesting. I don't know that book. Yeah, Horace H. Hoover. It's like I call it a occult mystery adventure, and the reason I throw those monikers or genres together is because you usually don't get those all together. It's an occult mystery or adventure, mystery adventure, but it really is. Everything has like an adventure quality to it. So you think of, I hate bringing up Hellboy, or Constantine, but then just add sort of an adventure element to it. So it's a different sort of, sorry, I got to ink this real quick. Sometimes it is hard to ink and talk at the same time. It's just got a different quality to it than a straight up occult detective. And that mostly comes from the view of Horace H. Hoover. His personality kind of drives the adventure aspect of it. And maybe I'm putting too much on those titles, but I don't know. Every time I talk about your comic, I mention Hellboy. I mean, it's hard not to. It's Lovecraft and it's occult stuff, and there's not that many popular books like that. So it's just got such a different vibe. That's the only thing. But if you're a comic book fan, you definitely know Hellboy. You might know Constantine. I'd have to think about other occult investigator. I mean, I know there's stuff out there, but I don't know how famous or how popular they are. I do think that Hellboy's, like the initial stuff with the more Lovecraft stuff is more in line, I think, with my stuff. Mignola definitely goes into the... He moves out of the Lovecraft stuff pretty quickly, I think, compared to like the folk tale type stuff. Admittedly, I haven't read a Hellboy comic in quite some time. Alrighty, I think I'm gonna take a look at this. I do want to show the cover of issue 3 and the model. So, where are we? Got the house working out, looking pretty good. We have quite a bit of grass. So much grass, so much grass. I think I can finish this up next time, in another hour. The only thing is this sky. That's going to be a tricky one. I don't know if I'm just going to do very difficult long lines across, or I'm going to try to do a wash or something like that. Washes can get tricky, and they can get out of hand real quick. I have the big collection that came out, Hellboy. It's just on my reading list. That's way too long. Yeah, I know. We all definitely have stacks of things to read. All right, so let's see. Issue 3. That is the cover of issue 3. So yeah, I definitely picked a different color scheme. This is like yellow and green, and I really wanted to keep that throughout. Makes Horace pop. Deep down in the caves of chaos looms the Loquat, New York City's greatest space-time occult detective vacuum. So that is going to start on January 20th. So we'll have a kickoff with some people. I don't know yet if I'll be able to make the kickoff, but I will try. Thanks, Metatron's Cube. Yeah, so that is issue 3. And the other thing I did want to show is the resin model. Might as well cover that up, or show that as well. I posted this on Twitter and Instagram, but this has been a long time coming, so I wanted to share it. Evan Morgan did the modeling, not the modeling. He did the printing and molding and painting. I did the sculpting, but he did such a great job. Really, really happy with it. So I can't wait to get a hold of those. All right, everybody. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. If you haven't, like and subscribe. That would be kind of cool if you liked and subscribed. Thanks, White Alakazam. Thanks, Ventron's Cube. DC Miller, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, these, again, it's from the UK, so these models, I don't know how long it'll take to get here, but as soon as I get them, I'll throw them up, I think, on Etsy. I got to get some packaging and some nice foam cutout stuff, but pretty excited about that. And keep an eye out for issue 3, and then later on this year, issues 4 and 5. So, all right, everybody, have a good evening. Have a good evening, and I will talk to you later. Thanks a lot. Bye.